Today we're going to be exploring the Stargrove, a brand new hazard unique sector added in 5.5. We have new dangerous events, new events that can give Aether Tech, two new hazards, a new ship unlock, a new unique crew, and a special exit boss. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Whenever you enter the Stargrove, there will always be a peacekeeping guard waiting for you. The guard will allow you to reroute to a safer sector if you're not confident in taking on the Stargrove. Now, the sectors you could reroute to are all Federation aligned, those being the Federation, the Union, the NG, the Sultans, and the Orchids. But for now, we're not going to do that. We're just going to hold firm and look at this sector. So you will always get free fleet delay, which is really nice for exploration. But if you take a look at this, to look at how many hazards there are, like every beacon except the ones outside the nebula are a hazard. So you have this beacon that's safe, this beacon that's safe, this store that is safe. Even this store is actually in a hazard. So if you open up the store, you have to do all your shopping, because once you close the store, then you can't access it again because of hazard. I do believe there's actually an ion storm somewhere here. Like, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, okay. So this right here is an ion storm, and that's the only other beacon at which you can upgrade your ship. Otherwise, the rest of them are filled with asteroids, pulsars, suns, blue suns, and you will not be able to perform your upgrades there. Another really dangerous thing about the sector is that you cannot jump to previously visited beacons to make repairs if there was a hazard at beacon. This sort of message will just show up and there's no storage check opportunities, so you're just forced to jump away. That means the only beacons you can jump back to in order to perform repairs are the ones that don't have hazards at them already. This sector features a brand new enemy type called Elite Pirates. Previously, pirates could only take over generic ships of various factions, but now the Elite Pirates have managed to take over even some of the elite ships used by standard factions. Like this Aether shield here tells us that this was originally a peacekeeping ship, which has now been taken over by these pirates. You'll see that their crew is much better than a generic ragtag crew of pirates, and one of their weapons will always be considered an unfair weapon. And some examples include particle missiles, mine launchers, preemptive weapons, and even repair burst. Hyperspace has enabled pirates to use, or rather any enemies, to use repair bursts smartly on themselves. And that's not all. Whenever you see an elite pirate in the Stargrove, they will always be accompanied with some sort of system disruptor. So as the event text implies here, your ship starts malfunctioning and pirate reduces the threat. So here we see here, some of your weapons aren't working right. This fight may prove to be a challenge, and I've lost 2 bars of weapons. Now, this will last for 20 seconds, and what they jam is actually random. So, if I recall correctly, the few different things they can jam are either 3 bars of fuel, half your engines, all but 1 bar of your cloak, all but 1 bar of your piloting, 2 bars of weapons, or in the worst case possible, they could halve your reactor. And all of these effects will last for 20 seconds, so you're lucky it's not going to last as long as the player variant, which could go up to 45 seconds. Now, if you hull kill them, you don't get anything special, but if you crew kill them, you do get a free item. So this is the high item. I need to check whether it's actually a high. It's always a weapon, but it should always be an item at the very least. Something that you should look out for in the Stargrove is that there are plenty of events that can deal hull damage to you. And if you're not careful, some of these can deal a lot of hull damage. Like, let's look at this one for example. So, I mean, I do have a blue option here, but there's also sometimes options for you to take on the event without a blue option. And yeah, I'll just show you what happens when you click the white option. yeah, that's actually enough to just one shot any crab bucket, or if you're playing Sylvan Sea for some reason, and even then that's still a huge chunk of any other ship. Like that's 2/3 the hull of any 15 hull ship. I mean, yes, the reward is good, but you also do have to keep in mind that 10 hull damage can just wipe you out. And this is on top of the fact that you hardly have any repair beacons here, so you really need to keep these events in mind. As such, like I'd say, if you can memorize which events deal 10 or 9 hull damage to you, that'll help you survive in the Stargrove much better. There are two events here that can grant you Aether Tech. The first of which is at the no ship beacon with a pulsar, and it's one of these two. Let's see if I get the right one. Yep, there we go. Okay. Yep, notice how in the background you can see the ancient ships, and you can tell if the description starts to say something about large cubicle structures. So you enter the asteroid field, and there will be an ancient auto waiting for you. If you defeat this ship, you'll be able to get an ancient weapon, and just be careful because this fight is deceptively dangerous. You're in an asteroid field, you're also being hit by pulsar, and you're facing an ancient auto. So I'm gonna delete this ship just to show you the reward you can get. And here you go. You get one random basic Aether weapon. That means any of the Mark 1s or Payload of Carnage, because those don't really have Mark 1s or Mark 2s. So none of the Mark 3s, unfortunately, but it's still a pretty good weapon to get. And the other event is at don't worry, I'm not gonna worry about that. The other event is at a distress beacon with no ship and a giant blue sun. Here you go here. It'll mention something about crystals being stuck inside a giant structure and they're sending a distress signal and you are trying to get them out of there. Now, you do need a blue option for this, and some of the blue options actually take longer than the others. Like, a damaging beam weapon actually forces you to stay, just hang around here and get pelted by asteroids and the blue sun for, I think, 40 seconds or 20 seconds, while some of the others, they actually just, they help you rescue them immediately. One thing to note, if you save them with Teleporter, you won't get the ancient drone, so keep that in mind. You still get a store, which is pretty useful considering it's a Stargrove, but you don't get the ancient drone. So we're just gonna save them with either cognitive or advanced hacking. Uh, Both of these will allow you to instantly save them. So we save them, and they give us a Harbinger drone and a store, which is really nice. Blue Suns are a new hazard type added in this update. For now, they're exclusive to the Stargrove, and they are more dangerous than regular suns. So they have potential to deal more hull damage and spread more fires than a regular sun. Additionally, they will irradiate any crew that is hit in the room that a fire is started in. And let's show you this one as an example. So right here, okay, a fire has been started in oxygen and doors, and my two crew that are in those rooms have been hit by the irradiation effect. This is the same effect that rad weapons would apply, and if I disable my Madbot Dispersal, you can see that they are clearly irradiated. And as a reminder, the irradiated effect means that my crew will repair slower, they will move slower, and if they are stunned, they will be stunned for a longer duration. Now, it's a pretty nasty combo with the solar flares because the crew that are irradiated will also be in a room where a fire has been started in. That means they will be able to put out the fire less effectively, and if they are really low on health, it may be hard for them to move out of the room in time before they get burned to death. And that's basically the main effects of a blue sun. I believe it might pulse a little faster, as in a little more frequently than the regular sun, but the most notable effects are the fact that it has more damage potential and it injures your crew as well. There's actually a route transport event in the Stargrove, and it looked like clearly belongs to the Sirens, but that's no longer the case. Now Vagabonds have infested the ship. And just like any other root transport, if you manage to crew kill them, you'll be able to get some nice loot. I'm gonna just show you guys what the loot is. It's essentially a weaker version of the Sears Beam, which you get from ramming cultists. So, let's see. Here we go. Okay, here it is. So it deals less crew damage, from 45 to 30 crew damage, and it only pierces one shield instead of two, like the normal Sears Beam does. So yes, it's weaker, but at the same time, I suppose this is more consistently obtainable, since the other one you can only get in like a quarter of your runs. But this one is still a pretty decent weapon, I'd say. There is one ship unlock you can get in this sector, and that's going to be the Federation Auto Cruisers. And to start this unlock, you want to head over to the outpost, and this is where they'll give you the quest to unlock the ship. So you want to contact them, either talk to them about it or agree. It added to the next sector. I'll skip ahead and edit the next sector in so we can see what happens. But right here, the good thing about this outpost is that they offer some services, and this is very cool because, well, okay, one of the options is missing, but it's basically ask for a shield upgrade, which can upgrade your shield by 1 bar. So if you're on 7 bars of shield and you ask for this shield upgrade, you save 150 scrap completely. Or the even more exciting thing is that you can ask for a cloaking upgrade. I'm going to do that right here, and this actually allows you to get shadow weaponry and cloaking. Like, I pre-installed shadow weaponry before coming to this beacon, and now it's being paired with level 3 cloaking. So this is actually the only, well, the most reasonable way most ships will be able to get level 3 cloaking along with shadow weaponry outside the Nexus. So here I've forced the quest to spawn right here. It'll be labeled missing auto, and if you go over here, you'll be at the sun, and you'll find that a Dynasty elite ship is attacking the auto cruiser. And you want to choose either the first or the second option, as long as you eventually end up attacking them, like accusing them or protecting them, both work. And here you can defeat them in any way you like, so just killing them by their hull will be good enough. And yep, that's basically about it. You reach the auto, you can examine the report if you want to. It'll just tell you about a bunch of lore details, but after that you're instructed to return to the outpost, and at this point you'll unlock the ship. And you'll also get the special augment it comes with, which is really nice. There's one unique clue you can get in this sector, and their quest starts from a ship detected distress beacon at a pulsar. And I believe the hyperspace devs actually made it so that this quest will always spawn on the left side of the map. So because the quest spawned by this starting quest is the Gravastar, which is a new hazard, and it's forced to be within this sector. So by putting it on the left side of the map, it actually gives it room to spawn on the right. So let's go ahead and jump to that. There will be a random Dustbringer elite ship fighting a Federation station. All you have to do is just defeat them in any way possible. You can crew kill, you can hull kill, it doesn't matter. Once they're dealt with, you'll be able to contact the outpost. And yeah, there we go. They tell you that Mafan has been cornered by some crazed Zoltan monks while researching the Gravastar. Mafan's a reference to Zoltan from Into the Breach, which is really nice. And they tell you that the Gravastar is basically what's been causing so much destruction in the sector. So we'll ask for the coordinates, and we'll try to go and save Mafan right now. And there. Gravastar, and look at this background. That's just a really nice background. I still think it's extremely nice even after having done this a couple of times. But anyways, here we have another new enemy type. However, this is actually a one-off enemy for now. These are Infernum Monks. Basically, they are Dustbringers on steroids because they have abilities that are stronger than even a Dustbringer Martyr. However, they are only present in this one encounter. I believe that we will see an Infernum update in the future, but we'll get to that in a moment. So it tells us that we've come to the Gravastar. Mafan's somewhere inside there, and we need to save him, but we first need to defeat these monks. Any of these options will result in a fight, even this one, like we come in peace. They do not, apparently. So once again, you can defeat them in any way possible. Let's just blow them up. You can cool kill them, you can hull kill them. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so here we go. Final, and we'll contact Mafan. So there's a bunch of blue options you can use to save him. I'd recommend having at least one blue option because this white option is pretty bad. I think it does 3 hull damage and 3 fleet boosts, like it doubles the fleet 3 times. And the other options, well, you probably won't have Aether Tech or Temporal Manipulator. So the best one's usually Teleporter, since this one allows you to get Mafan without any hull damage. And Advanced Engines is not bad. I think you need like 7 to 8 engines that allows you to only tank 1 fleet boost and some hull damage. So yep, there we go. Just 2 hull damage, not the end of the world. 1 fleet double, it's alright. And there we go, we get Mafan. And they say, yeah, he has a number of things to share with us, but it the devs with something in here that says, at least that's what I would say if we were ready. For now, you'll have to wait for me to give my update on the Infernum to my superiors. Wait for an infernal update, so to speak. Yep, so I think that basically confirms we will get more info on the Infernum Monks in the future, but not right now. They're a one-off encounter here, and that's about it. Okay, yeah, let's just show you guys what happens when the Gravastar hits. This is a really crazy effect, so watch this. Okay, so let's get that blue out of the way. Yeah, so you can see it actually applies a random temporal effect across a whole bunch of rooms on my ship. It also starts fires, deals hull damage, and it can also create breaches. It just didn't quite create any of them right now. Do note that it can slow down rooms, though it's random whether it slows down or accelerates rooms. Now, I'll hang around for another cycle and hopefully we get slow down this time. Alright, here we go. Oh, nope, still a whole bunch of accelerations, huh? Yeah, don't worry, I'll keep going here until we find a slowdown effect because this one definitely can give us slowdown. Up, there we go. Okay, so essentially, from what I've been told, is that it picks at random one starting point and it applies either an acceleration or slowdown effect. And after that, there is a chance it may pick another starting point and do the opposite effect. So you can see here, it probably the slowdown effect started in one of these rooms and then it propagated to some adjacent rooms. Meanwhile, the acceleration effect started here and just didn't spread anywhere else. So yeah, this hazard can be pretty volatile since you never know whether it will slow down. Yeah, like this, it could just slow down your shield system while it's burning and I'm unable to repair it quickly enough. I think by the time this ends, the next wave is about to come. Yeah, there we go. So it's pretty volatile hazard, but it's also really fun. The last thing I'm going to show you guys today is the special exit boss. Now, unlike other boss encounters, this guy actually uses 2 items which you do not see anywhere else inside base Multiverse. So, one thing I recommend before jumping to the beacon is that you put Mafan in shields and activate their ability, which makes the room immune to all damage for 3 seconds, including ion damage, which will be pretty useful. So we'll activate that and go to the exit where we will see the Highwayman. And that is the reason why I tell you to put Mafan in shields, because that is a pre-ion, and if you do not have Mafan's ability active on, at least if you're playing no pause, then you're gonna lose just 5 bars of shields. And he also has a pre-igniter. That's why all those weapons are ready to go right at the start of the fight. Extinguishers as well, so don't even try to Losan board this guy. And tracking flares. Now, I mentioned earlier that elite pirates could jam your cloak, but those could only reduce your cloak level. The Highwayman completely disables your cloak for 20 seconds at the start of the fight. And you can't even use antivirus to counter this because technically tracking flares is not a virus, it's more of just something you throw out into space. And so you have an option just to pay him 100 scrap, or you could, if you don't have 100 scrap, you could sacrifice 2 crew or 10 of each resource, and he'll let you live. If you have a bunch of the unique pirate crew, there may be some special direct options, though I wouldn't recommend clicking 2 coast blue option because that just makes the fee more expensive. And other than that, you probably just want to fight your way through. And as soon as we start, yep, there we go. He just disables your cloaking system for 20 seconds, and I do have antivirus in my augment slot right now, but there's no option for me to use it because it's a tracking flare. So, yep, there we go. And now, this is where Mafan's ability will be pretty useful because you can see the pre-iron's gonna do absolutely nothing. Like so. Just total resistance thanks to Mafan sitting right here. Though I am still vulnerable to the black tree and the energy too. Well, I had pretty good dodges, but normally if you don't have level 7 engines, then it may be a bit harder. And another thing to note is that his crew is pretty beefy. Like, that's a Mantis Bishop, that's a Crystal Sentinel, that's a Soldier, that's a Slug Ranger, that's a Separatist, that's a Cultivator, and that's a Rockman Crusader. So it's a pretty hard crew to defeat. Now, if you how kill him, you don't get anything special, but if you crew kill him, you do get something special. So I'll show it to you right here. Well, I wouldn't say special, but you do get a bonus reward. Yep, my dodges were not on point for that one, but that's alright. We'll just delete his crew. Yep, 20 seconds are over, so now I've got my tracking glass back, which is very nice. Kill him. Okay, cool. And if you do manage to crew kill the Highwayman, you get preemptive Iron Blast guaranteed. And yeah, unfortunately he does blow up the pre-igniter, so the only way you can get the pre-igniter is through Sylvan's quest in Kleptocracy Capital. But still, a guaranteed pre-igniter is a guaranteed pre-ion is always very nice to see. One more funny thing I should mention is that if you reach the Highwayman without having shields, like if you go through the entire Stargrove and survive it without shields, there's actually a blue option and an achievement for that. So I'll let you see that one for yourself when you actually, if you manage to beat the Stargrove without shields. But yeah, that's all for today.